Hi, everyone. How you guys doing today? Today is Friday, and today is also Sin City Crypto Day like it is every single weekday. My name is David. Welcome to the show. I totally screwed up my intro, but that's completely fine. Today's topics, we are talking Genesis officially files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Who are their largest creditors? What does it mean? They're saying it's going to be a quick one. Are they telling the truth? Also, domino effects and contagion as Bybit has come under fire. Are they in trouble? We'll discuss that. Plus, Nexo gets sued by none other than Gary the Gun. He strikes again. They're paying a over $40 million fine. We're going to discuss all that and much, much more. But before we can, I'd like to introduce you to your other co-host. Hello, Rob.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we are an entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel where we take the old, boring, stale information and package it up in a fun and sexy way. And then I'm excited today, man.
I got some funny stuff here to share. We want to start Friday off, the Friday giggles, okay? So this is the new prime minister. I forget his name. Do you remember what his name was of the UK?
Drawing a blank.
Yes. Drawn, last name blank. This is from Peter McCormick said, our prime minister talks to the nation like he's a school teacher for 5-year-olds. And well, this is what he means. So this is kind of interesting to me. Just pay attention to the delivery, not exactly the content.
Hi. One of my New Year's promises to you was to grow the economy. And today we're announcing the second round of allocations from our Leveling Up Fund. And that's about investing in local areas in order to create jobs and help deliver on that promise to boost growth.
Who has better story time, him or me? You know what I mean?
This
Rocco,
is not
pull up my story time.
Oh my God.
All right, what do you think? So here's a picture of the economy. And you can see on the left, you have the Federal Reserve. On the right, we have Congress.
Well, we can't see anything because it's all there. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
I caught on. All right. Okay, so we had the World Economic Forum, and, you know, there's some high-level people up there. You'd figure these people got great taste. You know, they bring some good music, maybe Garth Brooks or maybe Drake or who knows. But instead, this is what they got for entertainment at the World Economic. Hold on, it gets good. It gets really good. And don't worry, none of this is copywritten. If it is, then I will quit my job. Okay.
Is that a acapella
harmonica?
Flute?
It's a harmonicapella. The harmonica acapella. And then one last thing.
How much do you think they paid her to do that?
Probably $2 million.
What is the median salary for acapella harmonica?
No, don't tell me.
Is that on your resume? Like, can't play the harmonica without instrument. Like, what?
Hey, don't disclose the salary, otherwise Dave's gonna run away.
You know, Robin. I had a good day yesterday. You had a good day yesterday.
Hit the like button.
We all had a good day yesterday. Chat, did you have a good day yesterday?
Did you hit the like button yesterday or today?
You know who did not have a good day yesterday?
SPF?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
You know
this
why?
is a good one.
This
is a good one.
A car crashed into a metal barricade outside of his California home. 3 guys got out and told the security guard, you won't be able to keep us out. Yeah, it's important to note that Sam's family pays $50K a month for security. Man, you mess with people's money, you mess with people's livelihood, you are going to feel the wrath.
So immediately when I saw this news, first thing that pops in my head, dude lost his money in portfolio, right? Second thing that popped in my head, that Hillary done sent out the hitman.
Hillary, huh?
Tell me, I mean, right? I mean, maybe she just, maybe she sent some money to somebody for a hitman. and they just went low budget on our ass. And these 3 DJs just pulled up and just underestimated the level of security there.
Yeah. That is a very good possibility, my friend. All right. So we did talk about, obviously, the biggest news of the day is Genesis Global Trading bankruptcy. But before we get into that, we're going to bring our friend Forrest on in a few minutes. We're going to discuss it with him as well. But let's take a quick overview of the cryptocurrency markets. Robin?
All right. So, I wasn't ready yet, Rocco.
Okay, I thought you were.
We're here. All right. So we got Bitcoin coming in at $21,363. And so we are actually trending upward, at least in the last 3 days. So taking a look at the chart here, we'll pull up the 7-day chart. So you can see that, well, actually, let's look at the day. So 24 hours ago, we were below 21,000. So at least on the 24 hours, we are making some headwind. We've crossed and are holding above 21,000. And to put in perspective once again, we are back on track. This right here, this dip, this was the Justice Department rug pulling everybody with their pretend news. And then here is us bouncing back and regaining what we lost there from that FUD. It is no coincidence that Bitcoin is up and climbing, but also so is the traditional markets. So NASDAQ coming in at 1.75% today. So a big rally in the traditional markets. S&P 500 up a full percent. So, maybe we're getting a little turnaround in the traditional markets. At least it seems so, because we've had a little slide in the last couple of weeks. Now, Crypto Fear and Greed Index did bounce back. We were at above 50 earlier this week. We dipped down to 45. And so the sentiment when it comes to your crypto degens, your Bitcoin maxis, is that they're feeling a little bit more comfortable piling in on Bitcoin. Perhaps the bottom is in. I do think about a 50-50 coin flip on bottom being in, and that will never be under 16K again. So that's all I got there. Do you want me to cover? Oh, you know what? I'll take a peek at the other tokens as well, actually.
There was something I wanted to look at, too.
So Ethereum is bouncing around. It is flirting and playing around with 16K or 1600. So you can see when there was some Ethereum news that we're not necessarily going to cover in depth, but there's a group of developers that are thinking the Shanghai upgrade is coming way too fast. They're worried that stuff can go wrong as people pull liquidity out or people get their. If there's one thing I've learned about Ethereum is that they will delay. So I'm no worries about them coming too fast. If there's one project I am not concerned about rolling out their upgrades too fast, it is definitely Ethereum. Now, just to put in perspective how strong a support 16K is, we have tested it 1, 2, 3 times and not been able to stay above since June of 2022. So, we have been above it, but only for a short time window. And the last time going back would be November 5th. So just to show you how strong $1,600 is as far as resistance, also support. And then some of the biggest losers and gainers today, we have Hedera up 20%.
All right, Hedera.
So
Aptos too.
And
I got some Aptos.
Rocket Pool is up. Nexo is up. What do you know? That's interesting.
Okay. Real quick. Click on the Nexo chart. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird that they get sued by the SEC? And no, I'm being serious. And the price pumps.
It is.
Isn't that strange?
Abnormal. Yes. Because 99% of the time, SEC suing you, the opposite happens, right? And
some smells fishy here, my friends.
Yeah, I think assets are moving around, people are buying, and I think it's some whales positioning themselves for something bigger. I would expect a major retracement on this, man. I know the news already broke, but
Nexo, I'm not sure, but it's around between 70 and 80%. Nexo holds a majority of the Nexo token. So, But yeah,
this has got to pull back, bro. There's no chance.
Why would it pump in the first place, right?
It's whale manipulation, man. It's something going on.
And by whale, you mean the company?
Perhaps.
Because they
more than likely, it's a company moving assets around. They're probably trying to stage off a massive price dump. And that would be my first guess, is that they're trying to prevent a massive price dump because of the news, and either buying the tokens or arbitraging it, sending it from one wallet to another, having, wash trading it, whatever, however you want to do it, in multiple ways of elevating the price if you control tons of tokens. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make sense, right?
No.
I mean, you look at what happened to XRP, they get sued. The list goes on and on. You get sued by the SEC, it is a dagger. And you should expect a pullback, at least short term. And then hold
on. What investor? And just like, I like to break things down to the bare minimum common sense. If you're an investor of Nexo and you hold a Nexo token because you use their products, you find out the Securities and Exchange Commission has sued them for $45 million in a bear market. On top of that, they have to cease some of their operations. Are you going to go out and buy more token, or are you probably going to dump it because you're scared?
I will say, though, in their defense, if you're kind of trying to think about it, Nexo does have primarily their institution-based clients, so they're not for traditional retail.
Bro.
No, look it up. Like they're institution grade. That is what their product is designed for. Now, if you have large accounts, you can play around with it. There is a retail sector for it, but that's where most of the money is tied up, is in these institutions. So a lot harder to flash sale or pull out or move assets around or spook the markets. So
Kevin B said they reached a settlement with the SEC, so people are buying because they settled. Yeah, BlockFi settled too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't buy into that. I think there's definitely manipulation going on. And plus, on top of it, we know for a fact the Nexo token, the majority controller is Nexo, the company. So, all right. We did a poll. We posted a poll in the chat. Make sure you cast your vote. We also did another poll on our YouTube. Who is the worst for crypto? Out of 415 votes, 73% of you said Kevin O'Leary, followed by Mark Cuban at 2% and Jim Cramer at 25%. And so someone says, why Mark Cuban, right? And what was this comment I want to find? So Sit and Throde said, this is easily Mark Cuban. How do we still get buy 3, get 1 free Dallas tickets with the Voyager digital promotional code? So he's saying they haven't taken out any of their promo codes or anything like that, which is kind of weird. Figured that'd be one of the first things they do, right? I mean, you saw what happened with FTX Arena in Miami. As soon as that news came out, they were already looking to replace the naming rights and give it to someone else. So yeah. All right. We want to get into the big news, but first we want to bring our big guy in, our main man, Forrest.
Yo. What's up, guys? How's it going?
How you doing, my friend?
Doing well. How about you?
Good, man. Good to see you. You excited, man? You excited for another bankruptcy here or what?
I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Market's pumping right now. The stuff I'm in is pumping, which is great. So
what are you in?
Portfolio is pumping.
Give us some alpha, bro. Give us some alpha. What are you in?
I'm in Dust and D-Gods and Utes and Trump NFTs. I'm full DJ right now.
I know the Trump NFTs, they pumped back up to almost 0.4 ETH. I know you said you minted a bunch of them. Do you have a majority of them left? Of course, if you don't feel comfortable disclosing this information, we can just completely skip it. But
no, I don't mind. No, I've closed. I've got a little moon bag left. I've got 5, of which 3 are somewhat rare, kind of mid rares. But yeah, I dumped the vast, like 60 plus for decent size profit. So no, I'm riding the moon bag at this point. If they pump, they pump, and I'll look to dump higher. But Trump's coming back to Twitter. If he puts one of those things as his profile picture,
game over.
He gets the hexagon. profile picture with the one of one rare Trump NFT, those things are going to the moon. Those things are the Twitter's where NFTs happen, and if he comes back to Twitter with a big splash, they're mooning. Like him or not.
Here's the thing. If you're looking to make money, you can only see one color. That's green. You can't see political affiliations. You can't see skin color, ethnicity. What you hate, what you love, money, right? What can make you money? And if you saw what Forrest saw, and I believe you posted in your Discord as well, which, by the way, if you're not in the Sistine Research Discord, please go join it.
And also, if you're a fan of Forrest, hit the like button because
and use your Forrest emoji.
We only got 50 likes here. It's like 30%. What's going on, man? What's going on here? You
tell him, Forrest.
Yeah, I have multiple phones running. I'm liking on all my phones and iPad.
Oh, you liking on all your phones? All right.
I just have one.
All right.
I like watching the comments on my phone while we're live, just to keep tabs on what's going on.
We digging it.
I love seeing what the trolls got to say.
Yeah,
especially yesterday, somebody was like, "Let's take a shot every time Robin says and I'm like,
"We'd be dead."
I'm like, "Funny."
Not You say "fud you"?
I said "funny."
Oh, they said "fud you." All right, let's get started with the biggest news of the day. So this is a Twitter handle I've been following thanks to, it's a podcast I listen to, the Breakdown podcast. It's from CoinDesk. Nathaniel Whitmore does it. So this guy's been tweeting about, hey, there's a possible Genesis bankruptcy deal happening. He tweeted this yesterday. Update: a deal has been struck with Genesis creditors in principle that preceded the bankruptcy filing late yesterday. Expect an announcement today. The deal is much better than no deal. And then we had this drop from Cointelegraph. Crypto lender Genesis files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. They filed for Chapter 11 in the Southern District of New York. The firm has estimated liabilities between $1 and $10 billion and assets in the same range. Genesis said it had been engaged in discussions with its advisors to its creditors and corporate parent Digital Currency Group to evaluate the most effective path to preserve assets and move the business forward. The company's Chapter 11 plan sees it contemplating a dual-track process, pursuing a sale, capital raise, and/or an equitization transaction that would apparently enable the business to emerge under new ownership. All right, let's stop there. Now, Genesis, they had a massive exposure to 3AC, and then a huge exposure to FTX as well. We know the product and services they were giving. Was this just bad timing? Do you think that, like FTX, Voyager, Celsius, we can all agree, right? Unless Forrest, you have a different take, that they're not worthy to get restructured and come back, right? But is Genesis different? Are they worthy of restructuring their debt, paying creditors back, coming back with maybe different stuff in place and different, what are your thoughts, Forrest?
Potentially. I don't know, like legally, it doesn't sound like they were guilty of fraud. It sounds like they were more, and again, I'm not a lawyer. It sounds like they were just more negligent, didn't do due diligence, got caught up in 3AC, which got caught up in Terra Luna, got caught up in FTX. So I don't know, there was the whole Genesis thing of like they were depositing directly to Alameda, which was sketchy, rather than FTX. So, maybe they should have caught that. I don't know. But I think the best resolution for the entire space is probably that they do cleanly restructure like this. And this isn't dragged out for multiple years. We've seen, for example, the Mt. Gox hack, right? That has been an overhang in the industry and a source of FUD for years, for the entire duration of Bitcoin being mainstream. Everyone's always worried about the Mt. Gox, the liquidation or return to the market, and everyone's worried about that source of Bitcoin being sold and liquidated on the market. So the last thing that we need is another overhang, another source of FUD that's going to follow us around for 3 to 4 years. I'd rather them just kind of rip the Band-Aid off and get this over with and strike a deal and be done with it.
What are your thoughts, Robin? Are they worthy of coming back? If they came back, they obviously got a new interim CEO, right? The other guy stepped down. If they come back, do you think they're worthy of coming back? And also, if they do, what changes would you like to see? A change in leadership, a change in,
it's the market itself is going to decide whether or not they're going to be relevant or not. Obviously, if they came back, I think you kind of have to have a rebranding first of all. So if they rebranded, changed their name from Genesis to maybe Nintendo, you could, it could, they could slide in. And, there's plenty of examples of companies that rebranded and we just completely lost the association.
Even companies that didn't rebrand, that just came back, same name, just restructured their debt.
So, but at the same time, they did go through a failure. So it's not like they just, they screwed a lot of their users over. So it's not like they just had to close a couple branches or something, so people are affected. They have a bad taste. There's the stain. So I truly believe that they'll rebrand if they come back. I think that's a no-brainer, honestly. Here's the thing. Companies mess up. And you know what? Sometimes if you mess up big and you come back, you've went through that and you're probably less likely to take as much risk and leverage, and might be a good thing versus new company come up. All of a sudden, they got tons of new capital, millions or billions of dollars they've never had before or managed, and they haven't been through the same experiences as someone else. So it may actually be a good thing.
Here's my take. My take is what they were providing, right? A lot of institution, also handling earn programs like from Gemini. And although it's not something we like to use, the majority of the public, they enjoy using it. And so what I would like to see before they come back is some sort, because we see the government going after Nexo, and they told Coinbase, if you launch your earn product, we're going to sue you. So if they do come back, I think two things need to happen. I think a rebrand needs to happen. I also think they need to be completely separated from Barry Silbert and DCG. I think maybe another company buys them out or rebrands or buys I don't know. And then to come back into an environment where there are some regulations in place, like, hey, monthly attestations or filings, or I don't know what the case is. But I do think it's a product that people enjoyed, people were using. Obviously, you had close to $1 billion worth of client funds from Gemini that people had on the Earn program through Genesis. So I definitely think there's an avenue for them to come back, but I definitely do think there's some things that need to happen.
This whole idea or premise is all contingent on them just having too much leverage and just making bad investment ideas. And, there is the sentiment going around and accusations that they were intermingling funds they weren't supposed to, moving money around, and basically, having fraudulent behavior. So,
yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then they need to be held accountable. And you know what? If you fraud me once, you shouldn't be available to try to fraud me a second time, right?
That's the idea, but with apparently Kyle Davies and Suzu and the other guys came back with GTX. We'll talk about that in a second. We'll get Forrest take. But staying on Genesis, they owe more than $3.6 billion to just the top 50 creditors. Some of the biggest claims, including one of nearly $500 million, are attached to entities whose identities have been redacted. Some of them include, I believe the top one they said was Gemini Trust Company, tops the list with a claim of $766 million. So this next part gets a little interesting. $151 million owed to Marana, which is part of Bybit. $150 million owed to Babel. $53 million to VanEck. $30 million to Plutus Lending. And I believe there was 2 crypto projects, Mana Decentraland, and there was another one that was on here. Mana and something else. XLM, Stellar. So Stellar and Mana are also creditors of Genesis. How is that going to affect their company? Moving right along, crypto lender Genesis, they're FTX's largest unsecured creditor with $226 million in claims. So FTX owes Genesis $226 million. And they are an unsecured creditor, which I don't know. Does that sound kind of odd to you, right? Unsecured creditor, secured creditor. You'd figure a Genesis would kind of be a secured creditor, right?
Yeah, but we saw what happened with reckless borrowing and lending from institutions from one to another. I feel like if you weren't able to get that loan from one company, you would just go right to the competitor and get it from someone else.
Right.
And so it wasn't that one company was just being reckless; it was the entire industry, and it was kind of the standard. And now we're seeing the ripple effects of what that entails. And so, would Genesis have passed up on opportunity, like to say, "Hey, no, we need to secure, to secure this loan out and put some collateral behind it." I think if they would have said that, competition would have went elsewhere, and they would have lost potential revenue and business. In hindsight, that was the right move, but at the time, euphoria, man, people greedy.
Some of the other top creditors. So, of course, this list was initially redacted, right? The names are redacted, but some of the other top names, you have Pulsar Global, which is a Hong Kong crypto trading company. You have an individual creditor who had $91 million. And also Wintermute, which is one of the largest market makers, $33 million. And so now that we have the names out there, interesting to see how this thing will play out. And then one more thing I want to go through. So we highlighted in this article Marana, right? Marana, which is part of Bybit. It's part of their own program. Their CEO came out and spoke and said they offered clarity on the exposure to Genesis, but the community wasn't too happy. One report suggested that a total of 9 crypto firms had exposure to Genesis, including Gemini, Bybit, VanEck, and Mana. Now, Bybit CEO Ben Zhu was quick to respond to the reports and clarified that Bybit indeed had $150 million exposure to the bankrupt crypto lender via its investment arm, Marana. Zhu noted that Marana only managed a portion of Bybit's assets, and the reported $151 million exposure has about $120 million of collateralized positions, which have already been liquidated. He also assured that client funds are separated and Bybit's earned products don't use Marana.
And then we did wrap up the poll kind of on the subject as well. We had a poll: is Genesis bankruptcy good or bad? The chat here has actually said that this is good for our industry. And I think it's just a long time coming. I think we're just finally like, you know what, put this animal out of its misery. And so I think that might be why the chat thinks that. Only 40% said this is bad. So,
Forrest, you use Bybit a lot. I know you trade on Bybit. Does this worry you at all? People are saying, hey, you did not come out and when Genesis came out and said we're in trouble, you didn't say anything. And now it's like when your pants are pulled down and you're exposed, now you come out and you want to be transparent. People aren't happy about that. As a consumer of Bybit, are you at all worried? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so it doesn't worry me in the sense that, like, I just don't keep a lot of money there. I just like you have to be in USDT. I think you can trade USDC as well, but most of the pairings are in USDT. So I'm not like I just don't keep money there. That's the easiest thing. Like I keep a small amount, enough for like 1 to 2 trades. And if I'm not trading, which I've been personally sidelined a little bit because I've been, in some other investments and focusing time elsewhere, I just don't keep a lot of money there. And then I'll just deposit it and then withdraw it as needed. And that's what I not financial advice, but what I recommend most people do for any exchange, whether it's an exchange you trust like Coinbase or in a otherwise a centralized exchange. If it's not your keys, it's on a centralized exchange. That's usually what you should be doing. So, yeah, do I trust Bybit? No, I don't trust any centralized exchange. If I had to pick one, I think Coinbase is probably the best option because they're publicly traded and they're kind of subject to more stringent accounting practices. But I don't trust anybody. So does this make me trust Bybit any less? I mean, I already didn't trust them to begin with, and I also don't keep a ton of money there to begin with. So it doesn't change a whole lot for me. I'll continue to use them. I think their user interface and exchange is really, really good. I like the experience there. There's something else I was going to say. After FTX, I think they're printing money. I think this $150 million for them is in exposure, they probably like FTX going down probably made them more money than what they lost in exposure to Genesis. In the sense that like all these traders, I know like a lot of big traders, like big time traders that were using FTX, they switched to Bybit because Bybit's basically the next best platform. A lot are using Binance.
Take for us.
But yeah, I think this was probably a net positive for Bybit as a company.
That's
but
interesting.
Again, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust them. Like I'm not saying that people should go put their money there and keep money there. I don't. I'm in and out every time I make trades.
This is why we love having you on, because you're able to look at it from a way different angle. I didn't even think about that. Like, yeah, they might have lost 150 million, but what's the net, right? What's the net? Yeah. If they got all those people coming in, or maybe they had a lot of longs on their platform at the time and everyone got liquidated. I mean, who knows? But that's an interesting take. Rob, do you believe when Bybit is saying, oh no, it's totally separate, they're not the same thing, the Marana, their investment arm, and their earn product that people are using? Or do you think
that's what we've seen time and time again?
People say, right?
Genesis said the same thing with 3 Arrows Capital, and it's the same song and dance. And whether or not it's a big enough hit to make you go bankrupt or close operations or halt trading or whatever it is, that's ultimately the question. How big a hit did you take, and how much room do you have to go negative before it cripples the business? And Bybit obviously has, they're what, number 2 trading exchange, right, behind OKX or
that I'm not sure.
Anyway, they're the one of the go-to trading.
They're definitely one of the go-to.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like did Binance or Coinbase lose a lot of money with certain exposures and leverage? Sure. Are they going to go under? No. And same kind of principle here. Did they have exposure? Did they lose money? Sure. Did it cripple their business and now they have to close? Probably not. So that's kind of how I stand on that.
Now, I do want to also cover this here. So I kind of mentioned in the beginning, but Genesis aims to move quickly and efficiently to exit bankruptcy, says their interim CEO. This is sourced from The Block. Genesis has a roadmap to exit bankruptcy and hopes to do so as quickly and efficiently as possible. What happened to my other highlights here? Oh, there they are. The Chapter 11 process means there's an automatic stay that prevents Genesis from paying out any claims to its lending customers. So it can't be sued anymore. They can still raise money. And the thing about raising money in bankruptcy is those creditors go to the very front of the line, even before secured creditors. But a lot of people are saying there was a deal in place. It involves equity in the greater parent company, DCG. So they're saying, hey, work with us, give us a forbearance of 1.5, 2 years. In return, we'll give you cash. We will give you equity in DCG. And they're saying they can see this thing end in 3 months. I'm not a bankruptcy lawyer, so I don't have much to speak about it, but this could end sooner rather than later, and I believe the sooner they're able to restructure and keep all the creditors happy, number one being the Gemini Earn people, because that's I believe the biggest retail account that got affected. I do think they have a possibility to come back. I want to know what the chat thinks. Chat, do you guys think Genesis has a chance of coming back? Put a 1 for a yes, 2 for a no. Genesis can come back. Yes. Genesis cannot come back. No.
I'll put a 3 in the chat if you don't care about Genesis.
Why would you do that? Why would you tell him to do that? That was terrible. All right. There was a Twitter thread from Cameron Winklevoss. I don't think.
And then while you search for that real quick, I do want to give a shout out to some of our new people. If you're new here, all right. My bad.
If you're new here, look at our metrics.
If you're new here, say hello so we can drop a whole lot back at you. We got Sucret, Andre, Julio U, Kevin B, Dan E, Critical Hippo, John Foster Crypto, and then we got Hodl 2.0, as well as Big Irish Crypto, David Ryan, and then Unforgettable, also Bruce Bradley, John Forrest. To all of you, hola! Welcome. Sin City Crypto.
Did you say Forrest?
John Forrest.
I was going to say Forrest is not new.
Or no, John Foster. I'm sorry. Of course, I'm bad with names. So
Yeah, looks like I don't know what's going on, man. Okay. All right.
A lot of threes. See, nobody cares.
Yeah, because that shouldn't have been an option.
It was an option. In my book, it's an option.
All right. So we know that before we get into the charts, we know that obviously now we know Genesis was priced in. Is DCG priced in? Is GBTC maybe being sold, or maybe the withdrawal mechanism or the word I'm looking for, the redemptions, maybe them being unlocked is not priced in. What are your thoughts on that, Forrest?
Obviously we don't know what we don't know, but more than likely, I would imagine that will either be acquired or not liquidated. I think the last thing that is such a big cash cow, and it's like a literal free money glitch for them. Like they don't want to liquidate that. They're able to take a 2% performance fee on that every single year, regardless of what the ratio is, whatever the discount GPTC discount to actual spot Bitcoin is. Nobody wants to liquidate that thing. It's in essentially nobody's best interest unless you are a creditor that has lost a lot of money to Genesis and they can't pay it back unless they liquidate it. So it only basically benefits Gemini and all the big creditors. But at the same time, it kind of hurts Gemini in the sense that Gemini is a crypto exchange. And if they liquidate the if they liquidate all that Bitcoin, that crushes the Bitcoin market, which is not good for Gemini. So it's really just not good for anybody if they liquidate it. So I think that'll be avoided at all costs. Otherwise, someone could come in and acquire it or what have you. But it's just spitting out money. There's such a good revenue stream for whoever owns it.
And 2% sounds like a little, but it's a lot of money. And I agree. I don't think GBTC is going to get liquidated. I think they're going to have plenty of people lined up to take over that trust. We also had a $4.99 super chat from Destroyer. Said, Sin City fam, I'm not active in the chat, but I'm always listening. I hope to see you guys at BitBoys Book Tour next week. We will be there. And if you're there, please show your face.
If you are one that trades without stop losses, I actually found a person here that represents that. So we have a woman laying down inches before a massive 380-foot drop on the Devil's Pool in Victoria Falls. So this is likened to...
What is the point of this? I don't understand how this... okay.
This is trading without a stop loss.
I am trying to get in the mind of...
She's on the edge, bro.
I'm trying to get in the mind of Robin.
The edge.
We're talking about DCG Genesis, and he's over here looking at videos of a woman laying down inches before a massive 380-foot drop. Forrest, you see what I have to deal with here, man? You see what I got to deal with, bro? Like what?
I'm worried about the camera guy. He looks like he's about to fall too.
I think it's a drone. Here's even better one. So this is the old Velma. So this is the new Daphne here. If you're familiar with Scooby-Doo, look at new Velma.
Okay.
So
why she looks shorter?
She's she got a new look.
I really liked
the obvious change there.
Okay. All right. We're going to get canceled. So Forrest, I want to, okay. So I have a, take it off, man. Jesus Christ. So
just got new glasses, man.
BitGet. I haven't seen Forrest laugh this hard. It's awesome. Forrest, is this why you keep coming back, bro? Because we give you your weekly laugh. I love it.
Absolutely.
So Forrest, we covered a news article and you're an avid trader, right? You're a TA guy. BitGet is launching the very first copy trading for the spot markets, not future spot markets. So did you get a chance to read this article or look into it at all? Or do you want me to kind of give you a synopsis?
I haven't had a chance, so go for it.
Okay, so essentially traders, let's say Forrest or Garrett Soloway or Magic Internet Money, you create a profile on BitGet and it tracks your trades in real time and has a metric of like your ROI, your trade, your stop losses, everything in real time. And as a consumer, I can go on Bybit, I can find all the top traders by ROI, by whatever the case may be, and I can say copy trade this person and put a set amount of money or a percentage of my portfolio, and it'll, as soon as you put a trade in, it will automatically put the same trade in with the same stop loss, same everything. On the back end, what if the trade is profitable? You, as the professional trader, will get a % of my profit, as will the platform take their fee. As a trader, is this something that you see as a win-win? Is this something you'd be comfortable, or do you think there's more negatives than positives?
Personally, like I don't have anything against people that do this or whatever. So Bybit has a copy trading thing, and they always try to get me to join, and I just never do. Because there's certain times during the market where I just sideline myself. So like if you have your money tied up in my copy trading, you try copy trading me, and I don't feel comfortable trading in a certain market, I might wait 2 months for a trade, and your capital is just sitting in an account making no money. The other thing is my risk profile and trading strategy may not be suitable to what somebody is wanting or expecting. Is the other thing that you oftentimes see is you'll see like these like really aggressive bot strategies come in as copy traders, and they'll do like they'll have low amounts of capital. And they'll run an aggressive like long strategy and then an aggressive short strategy. And one of them will obviously perform extraordinarily well while the other one performs bad. And it makes the stats of that copy trader look really, really good when in reality, they didn't take much risk at all because they were just playing both directions. And then everyone will pile in and see, oh, this was a 300% ROI in 1 month. And really, it's not a sustainable strategy. So I'm just really not a big fan of copy trading. I don't hate on anybody who does it. I think it could potentially be useful, but I'm also a big fan of like teaching people and people becoming self-sufficient. Just like it's like rule number one for me is like I never trade somebody else's bag. Meaning like I never if somebody else, even a trader that I respect, has a trade setup, I just don't blindly copy trade them because if the trade doesn't go according to plan, like a lot of times they won't include their specific invalidation range, exactly how they're going to pivot if they flip long at a certain level. And then if it does go wrong, you really haven't learned anything as to why that trade went wrong because chances are you didn't understand the setup in the first place. You were just kind of copycatting the setup.
Well,
so
there's the tried and true saying, give a man a fish and
feed him for a day.
Yeah, feed him for a day, teach him how to fish. And so I know at least in your line of profession, it's more advantageous for you to teach your community the ins and outs versus saying, hey, here's a lazy way of doing it. Here's an easy way to make money, which there is no easy way of making money.
Yeah, people always look for that. And so I definitely do think it'll gain popularity, especially if you're giving traders an incentive by, hey, if your trades are accurate or whatever, you're going to make some money on top of it as well. I want to give a huge shout out to Jimmy, another 10 gifted memberships. I did the math in my head. This man alone probably spends about $150 to $200 a week between gifted memberships and super chats. So Jimmy, we love you, buddy. Thank you so much. We appreciate all the support, and you're helping other people get memberships. So thank you so much.
You come to Vegas, dinner is on us.
Dinner is on us, my friend. Dinner, and possibly we'll take you somewhere that we can't speak on. But Forrest, let's get into the charts, my friend. Bitcoin's been holding over 21K. It did dip below slightly when the fake DOJ thing, which by the way, bro, how anticlimactic was that? Oh my God, we're going after an international crypto thing. We're like, oh my God, is it Binance?
Yeah.
Oh my God, is it Tether?
I was paying attention really close because I was worried it was Tether. If it was Tether, we would be at like 5K Bitcoin right now.
That would have been bad.
Yeah, it would have been real bad. So I was potentially looking to scrounge up some money to like just start shorting, but fortunately it was just nothing. I hadn't even heard of Bits Lotto before.
Me neither, dude.
So no big deal there.
Sounds like a Spanish pork product.
No, it sounds like a Frappuccino that Rocco's going to go get after the show with a spoon.
Sounds like
cappuccino
a gelato flavor.
Bislato. I love a Frappuccino, Bislato. All right, Forrest, let's get into the charts if you don't mind, my friend.
Yeah, let's jump in. So, anything in particular we want to look at? We've got definitely Bitcoin.
Yeah, and also if you could look at kind of the broader markets, like maybe the S&P 500 or Nasdaq. I know we had a pretty big rally.
Please.
Yeah, pretty big rally in the in traditional markets today. So,
and you know what? We'll take one coin from the chat. So chat, throw a coin in there, and we will have our friend Kyler pick a coin, and Forrest will do some TA for you. All right. Go ahead,
Yeah, absolutely. So, looking here at the Dow Jones Industrial Average, we kind of were talking about it back here, looking like it was about to bounce on the back of a downtrend line. This is historically a bullish pattern, especially after a huge run up break of the downtrend line. I mean, this is just, for the Dow Jones, I mean, this is that's a 20% pump, and now we're consolidating on top of support, which is. I'm just going to say it is bullish. Like there's no way around saying this. You can't say this is a bearish pattern. This is just a bullish pattern. Is what it is. Doesn't mean it can't break downwards. Potentially putting a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders there if we do end up going to new highs. I want to reiterate the fact I'm very open-minded to both directions right now, and I think that there's so much uncertainty in the market that everyone who's trading this market or invested in this market should be very open-minded to both directions. Being, only the bears have gotten completely wrecked, as have, the bulls on the longer time frame. And if you're bullish at the wrong time, bullish at the wrong time, you've gotten wrecked. If you're bearish at the wrong time, you've gotten wrecked. So we've had this whipsaw price action that has been punishing both sides, and it's required being very fluid and being willing to pivot and change directions and not stick to one direction for the entire, for 6 to 12 months plus. Let's go to the S&P 500, which has not broken its downtrend line yet, but it has in recent times taken about 3 stabs at it in quick succession. A lot of times when you see multiple stabs and multiple retests in quick succession, that's a sign that it wants to try to break. And we're also potentially putting in a similar pattern of an inverse head and shoulders. And if we complete that, that's the neckline, we could certainly break through this downtrend line. I'm a big fan of de-risking at downtrend lines because obviously it's resistance and it can be the spark that brings you back down. However, what was different this time is that we had this pattern of lower highs and lower lows, but this time we came in and we actually made 2 higher lows, right? And we haven't made a new higher high, but if we break through and we put in a higher high, that is a bullish pattern. It's a bullish pattern. And again, I'm still very open-minded to the downside. Hey, we could potentially see this thing really turn around and move to the downside if we get recession. We also have our 21-week simple moving average here, which we've recently just bounced off of. So we had a reclaim, right? That test of our downtrend line. I'll just kind of draw it really sloppily right there. Multiple holds of the 21-week simple moving average. Now a deviation below the 21-week simple moving average, a move above, and now a hold. Now on a shorter term time frame, if we zoom in here. I do want to point out, hey, if we don't bounce here hard enough, and we're closing in on about an hour and a half left in the market, and things could change by Monday, but maybe this is a little head and shoulders here, and we do go back below. But we really want to be paying attention to this 21-week simple moving average and whether or not we hold it or not. We've gotten a really nice bounce today, and that's important. If you look historically, when you test this moving average, usually you get a deviation above it, right? And then a retest from below. And then if you hold from below, you're going further down, right? Hold from below, retest from below, you're going further down. Now we've broken it and we're retesting, we're seeing the opposite, where we've dropped below, we kind of got the deviation to the downside, holding from above and potentially ripping to the upside. And it's been kind of a thesis of mine that Q1 could be a really nice bear market rally. And then Q2, Q3, Q4 is where we really start to see that acceleration to the downside and potential recession. So that's kind of the way I'm viewing the market right now. We're just dancing along this level, and that's what we need to be paying attention to. And I'm just paying attention to if it can break that bear market structure downtrend line. And that's exactly what Bitcoin has done. We'll go over to Bitcoin, and this is why I have changed my bias to be biased long for the foreseeable future. It doesn't mean that I'm aping in here at resistance, although I do think there's a really good chance that this just continues to run and not give anybody an entry point. If we look at last market cycle, again, this is the Bitcoin chart. If we look at that last market cycle, the bear market rally, it did not give anybody an entry point. Once we got that first big stab upwards, it came up here and it consolidated in this kind of bull flag or whatever you want to call it, continuation pattern. But the drawdown from its high was like, before it started continuing, was like 10%, which is not really enough to come back and give everybody a clean entry on the way back up. People would have wanted to buy at 4,000, right, rather than having to buy at 5,000, 20% higher or 25% higher. So again, we could see something similar to that. Now, I am very cautious about this market. I do think that if we continue to rip upwards, you're going to start to see people talk about moving to all-time highs. You're going to start to see people on Twitter saying, oh, it's a bull market, we're moving back to all-time highs. I don't think that's the case. And the reason I don't think that's the case, despite all of the bad stuff that's happening, the thing for me that is very damning in terms of this is probably only going to be a bear market rally and not a new bull market. We've got potential recession on the horizon, but B, the reason that I think this could very likely stop in the red easy band zone, maybe 28, 30K, maybe 35K, is Bitcoin miners. If you're a Bitcoin miner, you've been in absolute agony below 24K. It's not been super profitable. You've been scraping by, and there's been periods of time where it's not been profitable at all to mine. So in the last couple of months, you're kind of underwater on in terms of profit. We've seen that we've seen the biggest Bitcoin miner declared bankruptcy. So if you're a Bitcoin miner, what's your plan? And you're seeing Bitcoin rally. What's your plan right now? If I was a Bitcoin miner and my runway was limited, but Bitcoin's running, and now all of a sudden it's profitable to mine Bitcoin again, I'm going to be selling my Bitcoin. And I may be looking to sell some reserves higher up here around 24K and 28K. Why? Because the Bitcoin miners, worst case scenario, and not even worst case scenarios, best case scenario for them is they de-risk here. They buy themselves some runway to get to 2024, March of 2024. That's if I'm a Bitcoin miner, my Bitcoin mining company, all I care about is buying myself enough runway to get to the next halving. That's all I care about, because if you're a Bitcoin miner, you believe in Bitcoin, you believe that the next halving is going to bring a bull market. So if I'm a Bitcoin miner, all I care about is buying enough runway. And if right now at this moment in time I don't have enough runway to make it there, if we go back down, I have to take these opportunities to de-risk and sell some Bitcoin reserves at these prices, which should provide some resistance and push the price down. Now, if Bitcoin just continues to run and I'm a Bitcoin miner, I don't care. Because if Bitcoin continues to run and I sold too early, it doesn't matter, because I'm mining Bitcoin every day and I'm making a ton of profit. And I could probably take on more investment if Bitcoin continues to run it on, and I'll have plenty of runway anyways if Bitcoin mining is profitable for the next 6, 12, 18 months. So for me, I think it's really, really unlikely that Bitcoin miners don't sell at some of these key resistance levels. I think they're going to use this as an opportunity to sell, and that's going to push the price back down a little more prematurely than what I think a lot of people are going to be thinking, that this can rip back up to 45K or 50K. And I know everybody was just super bearish and said 10K, 12K. Right? If we rip up to 24,000 and we put in a new high above 24K. Right, those same people are going to be posting 45K, 50K, new all-time highs. It's just the way that market sentiment works. So my bias here is bullish because we have broken the 21-week simple moving average. We have broken some key downtrend levels. Almost no matter how you draw a downtrend, we've broken it. We're currently at the very last downtrend level on the logarithmic chart. We need to break through this. We break through this, I think we end up rallying up to probably 24 to 28, maybe even 30, 32K. Kind of at the top side of my targets would be, maybe up here 32, 33K. But that's kind of where I would draw the line. I think my base case here would be probably rejection. And down to the 21-week simple moving average, and then we break through this last bear market structure here, and then get a nice little bear market rally. But of course, I'm open to move to the downside. If we break back below the 21-week simple moving average and we hold resistance there, it's right back to shorting, and we'll probably come back down to like these 16, 15K levels to see if we can hold that. But right now, because we've broken market structures, we've broken the 21-week simple moving average in a big way. Right prior, we got rejected here and rejected here. We've put quite a bit of space between us and the 21-week simple moving average. I think that's going to result in probably a move higher on the back of this downtrend line. So,
Forrest, I'm just going to get just a little insight from the chat real quick. What do you guys think? I know Forrest gave you kind of two price directions. Put a 1 if you think we're going to have a breakout to the upside. 2 if you think we're going to go back down under the 20K. Where do you guys think in the chat Bitcoin is going to move in the short term? So.
Yeah, the way I'm looking at this is I am bullish biased until proven otherwise. It's very similar to this when we saw the bull market structure break. You saw the trend line break. We saw a hold of resistance, break of the 21-week simple moving average, hold it as resistance, and it was down from there. And you get a retest, and again, we didn't hold or we didn't break back up above it, and it was bear market from there. So at the same time, like this would have been a really good time to de-risk at around 50K. Hindsight's always 2020, but at the same time, I think this is a time to move back to risk on. However, having stop losses down here, right? Being smart about it, but also looking to get out and take profits prematurely, assuming that this is maybe a little echo bubble, a little bear market rally, and probably not going to push us to all-time highs. Probably a very, very likely repeat of what we saw last market cycle, to be honest, where we got that vicious bear market rally that crushed bears, right? And then a bleed out until the next halving.
Forrest, so we got a couple requests. We said one, we're gonna do two. Can you take a look at AMP?
AMP.
Maybe some if you were looking to enter AMP, what would you be looking at? If you were looking to take profit, where you'd be looking at? Maybe some medium and longer term.
While you're pulling up the chart, I just want to give a little shout out to the chat. If you're new here, say hello so I can drop an hola back at you. We got Crypto Coffee Gaming, David Ryan Crypto, just straight up crypto. We got Natalie, DCR, Exion. We got Profit Bear, Frank the Tank, Dgent, Omar Rogers, and to all of you, hola! Welcome to City Crypto.
Yeah, honestly, I thing with AMP is it's like 56% circulating, which isn't amazing. It's got some inflation, a little bit lower cap. But if we just look at this, and this is the Binance chart, this has to be a swing trade. I would not be scalping this. And the reason I would not be scalping this is you're just going to get stopped out all the time. With all these wicks here. This is kind of a problem. If you're a trader, you look at this chart and it makes you want to throw up, just because it's just constantly short squeezing up. Now we've gotten this nice, parabolic shape, exponential run. So if you're looking to get long on this, I would be a little bit cautious because look at the chart. It's been down only, and it's just now breaking market structure. So that's not to say that it can't continue to run, but this has just been one direction, and we've gotten these short squeezes. This does look like a period of accumulation, and it does look like this could be heading higher. I'm not super familiar with AMP from a fundamental perspective, but what I can say is that we do have some nice confluence and support here at around our 21-week simple moving average, which is 0.00434. That would have been the entry to get, and it's already starting to bounce. We throw on our long margin pressure levels, we get confluence around 0.045. So again, some additional support there, and actually can move these to be a little bit more accurate here. These should be right there, 0.0453. Right, so we've kind of seen this zone hold as support, so that would be our demand zone, kind of in line with the prior level of demand over here before it looks like that was the FTX collapse. Yeah, so we've kind of recovered this range. If you want a long, I'd be longing in this zone. Probably just trading spot leverage. You're just going to get squeezed out, and your stop's going to get hit. Looking for a continuation up to the red easy band levels or to resistance there. If we move up our long levels, assuming this continues to run, a good level to look to get out would be what is this, 659? There we go, 0.0659, which would be kind of in line with our easy bands, but potentially even earlier than that, 585. Honestly, I think there's so many better opportunities in the market than trying to jump onto this particular wave, unless, of course, you have. I haven't studied this token, If you have some sort of alpha on this, if you really think it's just going to be the next biggest thing and it's going to 20x from here, by all means. But if you think it's going to 20x from here, now that it's broken market structure, I'd be looking to buy it on the 21-week simple moving average, or on the next capitulation down. But this is just really alarming price action for me to want to invest in. I mean, it's just like, it's just been down only. And I think there's safer bets out there personally.
And
that
then,
is kind of an ugly chart.
We did have a pretty resounding confluence on the chat as far as Bitcoin rallying to the upside. Does a lot of ones there in the chat. So that's what they're thinking.
Speaking of rallies, Hedera hash graph HBAR, that's been on a tear. I believe it's up 19% on the day. That was another one we picked from the chat. What's Hedera looking like? Well, where's the next stop? Is it overextended? Is it oversold? What are the charts telling us for?
This has been running, yeah. Yeah, you got to be real careful here because you look at this and can this absolutely destroy any bears and just continue to run? Yes, but keep in mind this was in the middle of it. This was deep bull market. This was extreme bull market. We are not in an extreme bull market. I would be more inclined to think that this is a bear market rally, and I would not want to push this much above the red easy bands. Very frequently, if we look at any chart historically, we look at Cardano. Cardano is a really good example. Last bear market, we get a bear market rally and it moves to its red easy bands. And in a bull market, yeah, you can. We're just not in a Bitcoin halving bull market right now. So I would not be fearful that this thing's just going to take off on you and that you're not going to get you're going to get left in the dust. So for HBAR, I would just be more inclined, honestly, to look for some short levels once we get up here than I would be trying to jump into this. The time, if you're a fan of HBAR, you've had ample opportunity to be accumulating this at lower levels than where we're at right now. There's just way too much downside risk, and we could go make new lows if you're just buying the top here. So I personally, I do not think it's time yet to be jumping into momentum to the upside for the long term, right? I don't think there's anything wrong with buying some pullbacks. Like let's say this comes back down to the 21-week simple moving average, buy the pullback, get in on the second leg. Sure. But buying HBAR right now with the plan to hold it for 2 years, I think it's just very likely that you end up getting better prices. Even if we do go up here, I think it's very likely we come back down and you get better prices in Q3, Q4 of 2023, especially if we get a recession. Problem is with buying right now is you're potentially buying in a high risk zone. And then if we do get recession, and which is the base case for very many analysts, if we get a legacy recession, crypto may not fare extraordinarily well in that. Crypto's considered high risk assets, it's considered a risk asset. Low caps or in mid caps, definitely risk assets. You're potentially we're round tripping it right back down, and you've been suckered into buying up here. I would much rather see people buy down in these regions. Even here, even if you bought on this capitulation down to 5.4 cents, you're profitable right now, which is very much different than buying up here in the red easy band zone.
Okay. Well, chat, hope you guys enjoyed that. Big thanks to our man Forrest. By the way, if you enjoyed the TA, you gotta go follow Forrest on Twitter at 0xstacker. Also, his channel, Cysteine Research on YouTube. There's a link in the description of this video. And if you enjoy the indicators he was using and you want to use it for yourself and you want to support the channel, there's an affiliate link in the description as well. Forrest, I want to pivot like Miss Jen Psaki to Nexo. Okay, so this is the other big news. Nexo settles with the SEC, will pay $45 million and kill their crypto lending product. It's a source from Decrypt. On Sunday, here's a little backstory. Bulgarian authorities said they do have evidence of Nexo customers using the platform for illegal activities, including money laundering, tax offenses, and financing terrorist activities. This is kind of what the Department of Justice went after Bitslotto for. The Securities and Exchange Commission charged Nexo on Thursday with selling unregistered securities, saying the company failed to register with the SEC before offering its plainly named crypto lending product, Earn Interest. In settling with the SEC, Nexo has agreed to cease offering the interest program and pay a $22.5 million penalty, plus an additional $22.5 million to settle with state regulators. And of course, the man himself, Gary the Gun. They were so quick to jump on this. They said, today we charge Nexo with failing to register to the offer and sale of their retail product. Blah, 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 blah. And Gary said this with his beautiful, there we go. So he said, we charge Nexo with failing to register, bypassing essential disclosure requirements designed to protect investors. Compliance with our time-tested public policies isn't a choice. Where crypto companies do not comply, we will continue to follow the facts as soon as everything crashes and people lose their money, and law to hold them accountable. In this case, among other actions, Nexo is ceasing its unregistered lending product as to all US
time-tested public policies that were put in the 1930s that still regulate today's modern technology. It's like
don't talk bad about the 30s. That's what moonshine was.
There's still. You know what? The sundial will still tell you what time it is as long as it's not cloudy and as long as you have the sunlight. And so
wow, thank you for that.
That's where I'm getting at, man. You got some old tech here trying to Rocco. There you go. See,
should have been womp womp womp. But
so yeah, it's outdated regulation, new technology. He keeps harping on the same thing. But anyways, back to the story.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on sundials, Forrest? I'm kidding, of course. What are your so everyone's saying the SEC, they wait for everything to fall. And even though people sound the horn, people were sounding the horn on FTX, they've known about these earn products, they've known about Genesis, they know about everything, right? And they don't do anything before this stuff hits the fan. And then after the fact, they come out and try to sue everyone. What are your thoughts on how the SEC is approaching protecting retail investors? And what are your thoughts on Nexo, this whole case with Nexo?
Yeah. So Nexo's interesting because the coin's actually like pumping off of this news, which is interesting.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that too, please? I'm happy you brought that up.
Yeah. If something's pumping, that usually means that somebody somewhere is buying with conviction, unless there's some sort of whale manipulation happening, which could be happening to some degree, but it's pumping a lot. So I think that's very risky to try to manipulate it up that much just to get to sucker people into buy. So there may be some underlying thing. Look, it's a $45 million fine, and for a coin that's like over $400+ million in market cap, and maybe that's just a kind of a slap on the wrist. I don't know their financials or how healthy their business is, and how I think they have exchange services, so maybe the exchange side of their business can still potentially cover that. But I don't want to own Nexo tokens. That's for sure. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of times there's like kind of insiders that are close to that understand demand and supply of a particular token based off news a little bit better. And maybe they know something that, makes the token more valuable, and that this was just, maybe now that they've settled, they think it's going to pump. It's just a matter of, I like the other thing that I don't know is like, are they going to still be able to do an earn program? They just have to register it with the SEC, or is this just forever, done for? I don't know if there's some sort of agreement there. So I think there's just too many unknowns to really know. But as usual, the SEC is just a thorn in the side. Just feels like incompetence, bordering on negligence, bordering on maybe maliciousness. I don't know. If you want to throw on the tinfoil cap, maybe it's maliciousness. But at the end of the day, this is a very fast-moving space. And I think it's going to be difficult for any of these government agencies to keep up. I think there's just it's just so like I was told by a CPA friend of mine, and a different government agency, IRS, said they were 20 years behind regular fintech, regular finance, technology wise, let alone crypto. So he said they're like 30 years behind. They're just, what's that?
20 years. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he was like, they were 20 years behind before crypto came out, and now it's just like, yeah, they don't know what to do.
That's always exciting. Well, Rocco's got something. Rob, can you pull that up? Or Rocco, will you pull that up?
Richard Hart.
Says the IRS after what is it? What does the title say, Rocco? What does the tweet say at the top? Scroll up. Says the IRS after collecting tax money on crypto while calling it a scam all year. Oh my God, that's funny. He was playing that in the background. I couldn't help myself with the laugh.
You know what? You know what else I was checking out in the background was so we discussed AMP, and then people over here bashing on AMP.
You're not going to show it, are you,
dude? I'm not going to show the video, but
you're going to show the thumbnail.
We actually did a
It's up right.
Yeah.
There. Oh my, right.
Where's it at? Oh, here it is. Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Oh my God.
So we did a video on AMP. This is when we were brand new.
So bad.
And
Boris, don't judge us, okay?
This is what our thumbnails used to look like. Take a look at this turkey. Look at that. That was
what the hell is that?
What?
That was our early days of thumbnails right there. So glad to see that.
That was so bad.
We've evolved in the artistic department of YouTube thumbnails. Huh?
Oh my God, that's crazy. That was probably our worst thumbnail. Oh man, we've had some bad stuff. But hey, that's part of growing, right?
Yeah, it'd be even difficult to find the picture.
Yeah, maybe we should do another AMP video just to change the thumbnail. What do you think, Robin? Good.
Sure.
Okay. All right, Forrest, we're gonna let you go, my friend.
Did you want to see our old intro too while we're at it?
Our old intro.
Probably saw it. Remember?
Yeah, this is our old intro. Take a look at this thing.
It's not Throwback Thursday, bro.
Yeah, look at this. Sin City Crypto. We had a little, but it actually wasn't too bad. We had a little.
It's kind of boring.
A little slot machine there. Yeah, Sin City.
It's very like boomerish, right?
Yeah,
had the boomer
boomerish.
vibes.
Yeah, it was. Oh man.
Oh God.
Look at these dance moves.
This was so bad.
Yeah, it's our old producer down there.
This was so bad.
Rocco, we love you. I will love you. I'll just put it that way.
If Forrest is not back next week, if Forrest is not back next week, you know why. Just kidding. Guys, seriously, Forrest joins us every single Friday. If you enjoy his research, there's a reason he changed his branding to Sistine Research. He just dropped, I believe in his Discord, a full in-depth analysis on Arweave. And not sure exactly how frequently you do these for us, but it was awesome. Can you speak on that just a little bit before we let you go?
Yeah, absolutely. So part of the reason I rebranded to Sistine Research is I just want to focus on providing quality, insightful research that's also actionable. So like I could do a deep dive on, there's 100 projects, but there's no point in, or there's thousands of projects. There's no point in doing them on bad ones. So try to identify good ones. Such as Arweave, and just, Arweave, even I going into, doing this deep dive on it, I just heard really good things about it, from people who are in the crypto space that I trust, but didn't fully understand it. And, I tried to distill it down to, it's 18 pages long, but it's like a lot of pictures and graphics. So you can get through it. You probably get through this in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, try to make it, distill it down to, a narrative that you can wrap your mind around and understand it. And it's not, the point here is not to be like technical. The point's not to be like, oh, well, Arweave uses a proof of access consensus mechanism that has an advantage over this or that. The whole point here is to identify, okay, what competitive advantage does Arweave have over, its competitors? And what is, when you're investing in the AR token, what particular output or what particular narrative are you actually banking on performing well? Is it NFTs? Is it storage? Is it a storage play? Regardless of what it is, the point is to try to make it so that you can understand it at a very basic level, but also an insightful level that makes you comfortable. It allows you to make a better decision for yourself about whether or not you want to invest in something. So you actually kind of know what you're investing in. I know I kind of butchered that explanation. I'll probably tidy that explanation up a little bit, but the idea here is just to provide really top quality insights and to recognize asymmetric risk reward opportunities in the market and then present them to customers. So.
And if people want these insights, they got to be in the Discord, correct?
Yeah, so there's the Discord, which is $9 a month just to join the community and join the Discord, which there's lots of good info in there. But it's $49 a month to join the Research Hub, and that's what gives you access to the research reports, the plays. So if there's something I see in the market that's just, hey, this may be a good opportunity, whether it's like, something niche like NFT lending, or if it's like, hey, Donald Trump's dropping an NFT project, do you think that this could be a good mint, this or that? Those are in there as well. And then also it's a repository of educational content too. So I believe there's around 30 pieces of content in there right now, maybe give or take 30 pieces of content, and that's just growing. I add every single week, and it's a good resource. So
that's awesome.
Definitely check it out.
Yeah, we make sure we got the link in there as well. If you guys want to support the channel, you want to support Forrest, and you want to get some in-depth information. If you don't have the time to do it, or you don't have the capability to do it, then please go ahead and do that. Support our friends, support the channel. Forrest, we appreciate you as always, my friend. We look forward to your Monday video, and we also look forward to bringing you back next Friday. Have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
You guys, thanks. It's always a pleasure. Peace.
Take care, Forrest.
And then we got a few new people in the chat. We got Kiwi Al, Kitty Gamer Cats, Dom Bits. To all of you, hola! Welcome to Sin City Crypto.
Kitty Gamer Cat.
Hmm?
KGP. Oh, KGC. Damn it. All right, guys. We are donezo. Go follow us on Twitters at Sin City Crypto 1, Instagram, TikToks, a lot of stuff. All seriousness, guys, if you want some crypto merch, whether it's Sin City Crypto merch or whether it's just regular crypto merch, please go support In and Out Crypto. That is the man behind that is the man you see in the center there, the Don Rocco. He puts new stuff on there almost, I want to say every other week, every 2 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, but yeah.
Pretty often, man. More often than I see a lot of a lot more often than I see a lot of some other merch stores do it. So you'll find all your Sin City stuff on there. You'll also find just again regular crypto stuff. You have phone cases, sweaters, hoodies. If you got a lady or you are a lady, sports bras, leggings. I got my wife those. She loves it. Good quality. Also, Rocco. Friends, family, friends and family friends. We thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Friday. Big shout out to our man Forrest. We hope you guys have an absolutely amazing weekend. On behalf of myself, Robin, Rocco, Kyler, we love you guys. Have an amazing weekend. We will see you Monday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Until then, peace. Roll the credit, baby. Roll the credit, baby. Roll the credit. AKA Small Rob. I'm about to go ham on this beat. Just kidding, guys. See you later.
Pop it.